Got to give the people what they want. Welcome to another edition of Power to the People. Welcome to our Buffalo audience on AM and FM. Welcome to our Atlanta, Georgia, the ATL audience that is listening right now. City flooded with all of the folks coming in, you know, for the World Cup that the United States is no longer in.
But listen, though, these games, that England Argentina game was amazing. So I wish I was down there because I'd have been down. Woo! I'd have been in the mix.
There is no way that I would want to be down there with hotels.
Oh yeah, no,
running more than probably a year of my mortgage.
Probably.
With traffic, so some people and a lot of people that are down there are not from the ATL.
No,
they're from all over. Let me see, school board. You know, I'm trying to sign on.
I know.
School board. I'm just gonna put school board. That'll get them tuned in.
They're gonna tap in.
Yeah, so a lot going on. I got a guest here today. We're gonna talk about the fact that Atlanta right now Georgia is one of the leading states, one of the top states that have this new cyclopariasis.
Yeah.
I don't know if you all have heard about it. I got health people here, so they should know about it.
Yeah, can't touch that lettuce, and you know, and now even Taco Bell has now been linked to so many of the incidences that they are working with the FDA to try to get all of their lettuce and figure out where the distribution is going. Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Well, of course, we got lettuce problems when I decide to try to eat right.
Of course.
So I go to had this on Facebook the other day. I go over to Soul Fresh. They moved on Lovejoy. Some people are saying, "Oh, it's too far." You know what? We so spoiled in Buffalo.
Stop it.
To go over Bailey, make a left on Lovejoy. I don't care where you at. That's less than 15 minutes.
Yeah, not even 10.
Now, to our Atlanta audience, 15 minutes is a walk to the bathroom.
I was going to say, they don't even know what you're talking about. 10 minutes to get across town.
So spoiled in Buffalo, if you go into a restaurant, and this is the truth, almost anywhere in Atlanta, you better leave an hour early depending on where you live.
That's crazy.
If you live in Metro Atlanta, 45 minutes. I don't care. Because if you're on the highway, it's going to be an accident or just traffic. We complain about 15 minutes. So anyway, I went over there because I'm trying to eat healthier. My suit's a little tight, shirt's a little young. I gotta get my life together. But I said I was going to eat non-plant-based protein in the summer, and I am. And I am paying for it.
Listen, it hurts. It hurts. A few times I've had my ribs because that was the only thing I said I was going to partake in. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet because I'm not giving up the barbecue ribs.
Well, the problem for me is I can deal with that a little bit, but I can't deal with. I'm back on these carbs.
Oh yeah.
Everything's got rice. Everything has noodles. Everything, and I'm like, okay. And then yesterday I was gonna have a Impossible Burger, but I ain't got no more left. I had to have a regular one, but here's the.
You didn't have to.
Yes, I did.
I know you did.
My body said I had to, but here's the problem. I tried to dress it up real good with a lot of vegetables. So I had lettuce. Hopefully I don't get cycloporiasis. Lettuce, tomatoes, pickles.
Oh, look at you.
Dukes. It was Dukes. Y'all got to get down with Dukes. Turn on Penny's mic. She talking. What you say?
Dukes?
Put that close. You're not at home.
Okay.
What's Dukes?
What's Dukes?
Poor thing. Poor beloved. You have never heard of Dukes mayonnaise?
No.
Oh, it's a Southern staple. Much better than Hellman's.
No, Miracle Whip for me. I'm a Miracle
No, Miracle Whip should not even be in your refrigerator. I have a little Miracle Whip. If I make something, I put it like a teaspoon just to give it that little tang. But Miracle Whip is not it. Mayonnaise. Get you some Dukes. We now have it up here in the north.
Here, Dukes.
Creamy, not like just mayonnaise.
Miracle Whip is creamy.
It's got a little color to it.
Hellman's is eggy. Miracle Whip is creamy.
Anyway,
why are you so angry?
Why
she angry about?
Why are you angry so early?
Yeah, talking about my Miracle Whip.
No, nobody care about no Miracle Whip. People who cook with Miracle Whip can't cook that good. I don't care what you say. I said it and I'm standing on it. Y'all can't cook that good if you got to supplement it with some Miracle Whip.
Who's cooking with Miracle Whip?
That's all I'm saying. So I go to the salad place. I come out, and next door is Bocce's.
Oh, boy.
I mean, not Bocce's. Carbone's.
Carbone.
Which is, for those of you in Atlanta, that's a no, that ain't South Park. Lovejoy.
Oh, you went to Lovejoy because they got Carbones on.
They have that also, but on Lovejoy they got one. And my point is, I got the salad, healthy, and then I went in and bought a piece of pizza, and then the pizza looked so good, I said, "Give me two."
Oh.
But I ate my salad. So back to the cycloporiasis, and if you don't know what that is, it's exploding
excrement.
It's parasites.
Two people who listen ain't gonna know what that means.
It's parasites.
Yeah, parasites.
Let alone parasites.
So we got a health fair coming up.
Yes.
In Buffalo.
Yes.
Tell us about it. I got Ashley here over Choose Healthy Life.
Yes, she is.
Which is she's a full-time employee that deals with health and wellness here in the city through True Bethel, through a grant through New York State. And what you got going on?
Okay, I am Penny Brown, which is the president of the True Bethel Nurses Ministry. And we haven't had our health fair in a couple of years.
Yes.
Now we're back at it.
Yes.
Community Health Fair 2026, which is going to be held Saturday, July 25th in the 907 Church parking lot from 11 to 2.
11 to 2.
11 to 2.
Who can come?
Anybody and everybody. We want the community to come out. We went outside the box. Anybody can come because it's a health fair.
Okay.
You need to get all this information. We're trying to put information out for people who really don't truly know about health, and especially mental health.
Right.
That is very serious. Very serious. We got a lot of agencies coming in for mental health. We'll have a lot of literature and stuff for you to look at and read and talk to the people.
Right. They'll be there.
They'll be here.
Yes.
We'll have Child and Family Services. We'll have Best Self. We have People's Inc. We have Jericho Road. We have quite a few people coming out, which will be out. And then we have a doctor, Pamela K. Morrison from ECMC. She's going to be speaking regarding the health issues.
What time is she going to be speaking?
She'll start at 12.
Yeah, I think that's important that people know exactly what this schedule is, because generally it's that she is a featured speaker at 12 o'clock, African-American woman.
African-American.
From ECMC.
Yes.
I think so she knows the community.
Yes.
And knows some of the things that we go through as a people.
Yes.
I know you've been working with Choose Healthy Life, and you're part of this through our program and you're providing some of the funding for this. Why? You have a budget. You decided to use some of your budget for this.
I mean, I think it's something that's important. Of course, we always want our community to be educated in health. Certain things that they may not necessarily have access to, so they may not know about certain resources, so they're able to hear from these vendors to say, oh, I didn't know that was something that was down the street from my house. I didn't know that I could get this screening done for free. And then they're able to just see things that they maybe wouldn't see, learn things that they wouldn't learn, and then come together with the community.
Okay. All right. Let me let you get your phone. It's bleeding over into the. Yeah, it's bleeding over. So at the end of the day, because you talk about some screenings, the screening. What type of screenings will there be Saturday? Do you know?
So Roswell Park will be there. So they're gonna have the bus where they do like breast cancer, prostate screenings. You don't have to like sign up in advance. So it's open to the community. You can just walk up, decide you want to get yourself tested and get checked out, and you can just come up and get that done as well.
And I know that Choose Healthy Life does full blood screenings, which I just really learned at our last meeting in New York, that these screenings that you do they would cost the person $700. Yes. And a lot of times when you go to the doctor, they don't screen you for everything. They only screen you most times for the things where they think there may be a problem. Mm-hmm. So I know we don't have a date yet, but I want people to know about that. But at your event that's coming up, there will be Roswell Park, and what other type of health situations be there? Health providers.
We have quite a few health providers that's going to come out. We have Roswell, number one. We have them on the board. We have the Kidney Together Foundation, which is Francesca.
Yeah,
we got her coming out.
I hope that she talks about. We just had a kidney. We were just in Orlando, Florida, for gospel. And the first lady of Full Gospel is a doctor, and she had someone there talking about kidney health and about kidney disease. I didn't know, and this maybe I'm overstepping talking about it on the radio, but I think it's important. I've got to use the right words so we don't get knocked off YouTube. So there was a man there, former football player, who said he was spilling protein in his urine. I didn't know what that meant. You know what that means? I didn't know what the signs were until, and I didn't even go. Craig went and came and told me.
Yes, spilling proteins from your kidneys into your bladder.
Yeah.
And it's really serious. It's a serious thing that will happen because we don't know it. You won't know it, but you'll feel it. You'll feel it, and when you feel it, you go to the doctor and they give you a urine test.
Yeah.
And they'll see it in there. That's the only time they'll find it.
You know, one thing he identified, and now I'm petrified, and I'm being but while we're talking about health, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to publicly talk about a health situation that I just recently had, because when I talked about it at church, another man came up to me, and he ended up having the same thing and has been treated, and I don't have permission to give his name, but so I'll talk about that in a second. One of the things he said that was a sign was his urine, he said, looked like it was dishwater as far as the bubbles. I have never heard that in my life. So that was important, and she talked about that too. So those are some signs that if you have that, that are outright that this man experienced. It might not be in everybody, but he did, and that was a part of it, is because of the protein that he was not retaining in his body. And so I think that's so important to come to health fairs like this to learn it.
Correct, because you have so many people who set up tables, come and take the time out to do
blood
this.
Pressure too, right?
Blood pressure. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got it all. We having everything. We having some of everything. The firehouse, the fire department going to be there, for the children. We got face painters. We got the massage lady. You get a 10-minute massage, from her. She'll be out there. We got everybody coming out to help us.
All right, give us the date one more time.
The date will be Saturday, July 25th. From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the church's parking lot at 907 East Ferry Street.
And you have a tent?
We have tents.
So if it rains, still going on.
All our vendors are up under the tent.
Yep.
All of them.
So I think it's so important, and I publicly share this now. I took a urinalysis routine, was having absolutely no problems, having absolutely no symptoms. I get a call back from my doctor saying that I had blood in my urine. No signs. So now I'm looking. I know I'm a little gross.
You won't know it.
You don't
unless
see
it's heavy.
anything.
Heavy. Yeah.
I saw zero. Goofed around with it for a few months. Like, okay, I'll go. He sends me to a wonderful urologist. Matter of fact, this urologist took care of every black president of the city council except one. And he can share, they've already passed, but and even down to Delmar Mitchell. His father took care of Delmar Mitchell, who was the first black sitting council president elected. And so he was so excited, and I'm like, well, you kept him alive. Hopefully you keep me alive. They do a MRI and find out that I had a tumor on my kidney. And I didn't read. You need to read what the doctors have. You need to get on telehealth, make sure, or some type of, so that you get your report. And if you don't understand it, in the day of AI, you can scan your report and say, explain this to me. Correct. And it will explain. If you still don't know, I didn't do that. So I never read the report. I'm going to be honest. The guy says, you need to, we found this kidney, we found this tumor. And he said, if this were a few years ago, you would lose your kidney, period. There was no ands, ifs, or buts. They weren't going to go in there and goof. He said, we would have just taken the kidney. He said, but now we have something called, I think it's cryotherapy, where we're going to go in, we are going to freeze it, we are going to remove it. If it's big enough, we're going to test it. And that's what they did. So I was in the hospital trying to keep it down. Of course, seeing people as I'm going through the hospital, acting like I'm coming to visit, until people are literally walking up to my bedside going, hi, Pastor. And I'm going like, oh, gosh, everybody's going to know. They took me in, sedated me, went in through my back. I was awake, kind of. I just remember feet walking past, but not really. There was a computer there. Doctor looked like he was 10 years old who did the surgery, but he was good. And obviously, the younger you are, you know this computer stuff. I don't remember anybody touching me. I don't remember this thing going into my back. I don't remember. I just remember a computer there and them coming in every so often and doing something on the computer. Take me back. I guess they put water in my back or something because I was in horrible pain for about an hour or so. I remember just kind of, and then after the pain, I wanted to eat. I was like, y'all got some food? Y'all got a turkey sandwich or something? Bring me something to eat. They found it, took it a few weeks ago, went back to the doctor, and it's benign. Everything was benign. Awesome. However, when he reads the report, he shows me the report that I failed to read, and I would have been petrified. It says on the report what he wrote, that it appeared to be cancerous. Mm-hmm. If I had have read that, I would have, oh, Lord, I've been all on the altar, everybody's altar. I've been going to revivals. I'd have been standing in prayer lines. Actually, everybody knows me. No, I wouldn't have, but I wouldn't. Right? But it would have affected my mental. But I always feel like, when I had tumors on my lungs, let's go. Let's get it done. Let's get it out. Now, what breaks my heart is, I don't know if cryotherapy can be used for the lungs, and maybe I would have retained my lungs. I don't know. But I had several on my lungs, so it might not have been as easy. So all of my tumors have always come back benign, bless the Lord. But my point is, it was important to go and be seen and not spend years not going, because that could have grown into something else. True. And so after I talked about it, another man came up to me, had the same situation. He's now been treated the same way. You're up the next day. You really could be up that same day, kinda. I think I came to work. I came to work the next day. I still wasn't, but I didn't want anybody. It was a day, a work day. So I remember somebody here saying I looked sleepy or something. I wasn't just sleepy. I was still sore. But I came to work.
It's still good for you to look at when you get the tests and blood tests up at, always go into your portal. That's where your notes are doctor.
But here's the problem. You got so many portals, and I'm writing them down and all that kind of stuff. But I got a portal for the urologist. I got a portal for my main doctor. I got a portal for this person. And I get all confused about, I wish you just had one portal. Nope. But all of the doctors can look at each other's portal, and they know where to look.
Correct.
As a patient, to be very honest, we probably need some help and training. There might be something, Choose Healthy Life, because I do get confused about which portal to look at. Yes. And then when I look, I'm just transparent. I don't read it.
You got to click it open and read it. Go on that blood thing.
I look at the end result. Am I sick?
No. You got to open it up and see what the notes what it says there. And then you wouldn't find out at the last minute. You already know what's going on.
Well, I noticed when I walk now, I kind of bend over a little bit. How about I was looking at an old report from about 8 years ago, and it talked about that I had an MRI, curvature of the spine. Nobody's ever said it to me. No doctor has said it to me. I just had some notes, and I was filing stuff away. I was like, let me look at this. So I'm like, maybe I better look at a whole lot of stuff. Do you read your stuff? See? And she's young. She didn't answer. You notice? She gave me clear airtime with no answer.
Oh, I read mine. I'll read it.
If it's something that's a concern, then yes.
If it's something
I'm
that's
triple read it.
You're going to triple read it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got to do better, but that help is there with AI. Do you go to your portal, Mike?
Quite frequently, and especially like as soon as I know I get blood work, I'm on it. Now, my issue is how often do I actually do appointments? I've been done better in the last couple of years, but from 20 to about 40,
You didn't?
Yeah, I didn't do. I barely went to appointments, let alone checking a portal. So I've been better in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I am pretty faithful in going to the doctor. I'm not great at following up.
No.
Like once I miss an appointment or I cancel an appointment, I'll be like, I don't even remember. So I'm trying. Matter of fact, in my phone, this is how I'm trying to get better. On my notes, I have a tab now for medical. And I've been putting in the portals.
Okay.
I've been putting in which doctor, because I go to the doctor and they go like, when's the last time you had surgery? I'm like, I don't remember. When did you have your last surgery in your lungs? I don't know. I think it was November of some year, right? So now, and this is why I was going through my medical file, because I was putting stuff in of frequently asked questions into my phone so that I can intelligently, because what I'm realizing, we just said goodbye. I just left the memorial service for the funeral homegoing service, so many words, for Pastor Arthur Boyd. At Elam, beautiful line out of just people all over the place. We just lost also Bishop Quincy Boyd has gone on. His services are next week. It was at Elam where they lost Pastor Bronner, Bishop Bronner. There are those of us in the pulpit who preach this, take care, and then sometimes, and not that they didn't, by the way. I'm just saying it's a reality. Right. Of how short life is and can be, and Bronner was adamant about he took care of it. Going, there's some things you get that it doesn't, you can prolong life, but we're all gonna leave here.
Oh yeah.
But the quality of when we're here is important by what we do and following up and finding those things. So health fair going on. Coming up this Saturday, next Saturday. And speaking of which, those of you listening, the family day, unfortunately, for True Bethel tomorrow. And I know it's clearing up. We didn't want to take a risk with the health of people and being out at the park, even if there's a small chance. And so we have canceled it. I'm not even saying postpone because we got another month or so. Yeah, so we have a plan for the food for those who were going to come. For those who are going to come. And then we're sending some of the other food over to you all for the
bring it on
for the health fair. Last time, Saturday, 907 East Ferry.
Yes,
free to the public.
Community, True Bethel's Nurses Ministry Community Health Fair.
Yes.
That's going to be held Saturday, July 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 in the 907 parking lot of True Bethel Baptist Church.
All right. So thank you much for being here. We're going to pay some bills, and we'll be right back.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo: 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally, 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free, 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
So I'm going through the local paper today, the neighborhood paper, the Challenger. You all can see it. Those of you who are in Atlanta, you can get online and see the Challenger Community News. And there is an article by a young man, Marc Talley, who has been active with youth for a long time. We know him famously, unfortunately, because of the top shooting. Those of you in Atlanta, we had a shooting here where a white supremacist took the lives of 10 African Americans in a grocery store a few years ago, and Mark, unfortunately, one of them was his mom. But whether it's Atlanta or Buffalo, we know that, and I was looking at the paper today in Atlanta, of all the shootings, again, of all of the kind of negative actions, that's what gets the press, of especially our young black men. We're seeing even females now rise up, but especially our young black men. And Mark writes an article, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it, and he is joining us through Zoom. He says this: across Buffalo and the nation, schools are facing a growing crisis. Chronic absenteeism, he's right. Disruptive behavior, he's right. Declining academic performance, absolutely. And we're going to talk about after we talk to him about the Buffalo School Board and what happened here recently. And a collapse in accountability, poverty, trauma, systemic inequality. And he goes on to those things that if you're part of the neighborhood, you know. Then he says, let me be direct. And this is what caught my eye. Absentee fathers are a major driver of this crisis. Mark continues to write, he says, too many men disappear when the relationship ends, disappear when responsibility gets uncomfortable, disappear when their child needs guidance instead of entertainment. This article is profound, especially that it is coming from somebody who is from our community and somebody who is not a Johnny-come-lately, but willing to stand up and say it. Somebody might cancel him because we don't like to deal with the problems. Mark, thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining us at the last minute.
Absolutely. It's always glad to be on the show with you, Pastor.
Man, tell me about this article and what prompted you to write this article.
Like I said in the beginning of the article, most people knew me from the unfortunate tragic events of 5/14, but I definitely have a lot of experience working with the youth, at-risk youth in the areas of the east side of Buffalo, and just seeing what I've been seeing working with the youth, and especially over the past couple years here in the Buffalo public school system. I felt I just had to call it out for what it is, because a lot of people try to tiptoe around the issue, but don't necessarily want to say what the exact issue is and what needs to be done about it.
Well, it's funny because Mark, we were talking the other day about, was it you? We talking about wealth, a guy on YouTube, and he talks about one of the reasons that it wasn't, that African-American families do not have the wealth is he feels it's based on marriage, it's based on relationship, all of that kind of stuff. I want to actually bring this guy on, but I got Mark, who is right here. At the end of the day, Mark, you say part of the problem is dads. Do you feel like that's the main problem or lack of that?
I feel that's somewhat the main problem. And once again, like I said in the article, it necessarily doesn't have to be a biological father, but a child needs some strong male figure in their life. And if there's an absence of a male figure to teach that child what accountability is, what discipline is, what responsibility is, then you're leaving all of that onus on the mother. And I'm a product of a single mother.
Yeah.
My mother raised me from the time I was born to the time I finally moved out of her house, till around 24, 25 years old. I know what a single mother can do and what a single mother can't do. And unfortunately, it's hard for a single mother when they're by themselves to enforce discipline, responsibility, uh, everything that that child needs, because a mother's primary responsibility is to nurture and care for, to be that loving support and guidance for their child. And
Now
when you're asking that,
you say something in this article that, I mean, I was like, wow. And I'm just going to read it. I think I just read a part of it, but I want you to talk about this because I think as men, we need to hear this. You said too many men disappear when the relationship ends, disappear when responsibility gets uncomfortable. Do you think, and I mean, I've dealt with I want to have man talk right now. I dealt with females who had kids, right? And then if the relationship ends, it can be awkward sometime to try to stay in the child's life if there's, if you're not getting along with the mother. Talk to us about, because that's the real reality. When two adults break up and it's like, well, I don't want you over, I don't want you. How do you stay in?
you have to man up and stay in. Basically, no child asks to be born. No child asks to be here. You made a responsibility when you had unprotected relations with that woman to bring this child into this world. Now it's your responsibility to protect, nurture, care for, and provide some type of role model, some type of example for that child. And it's too often, too many men, unfortunately, once they have difficulties or the relationship ends, they want to leave that child to fend for themselves with their mother. And you can't do that. And because of that, as we saw what happened yesterday, you had a bunch of mainly single black male children up on Delavan, right across from Seneca, trying to fight grown men at the McDonald's.
Oh, I didn't
And
know that. I haven't heard about that. What happened?
just a school fight, had some kids trying to fight, I think, members of the Peacemakers.
Wow.
hmm
And for those of you in Atlanta, Peacemakers is basically a volunteer organization. They do get some grant money of men and women out in our community who have done a phenomenal job working with young people, knowing the young people. And to be quite honest, when I have a problem with young people, I call Peacemakers many a times. So to hear them trying to fight the people who are trying to keep them from being shot by bad actors and all kinds of stuff, that's disappointing to hear. And you think, from where you have worked with kids, with children, you talk about it doesn't even have to be the father. You see better results in how they turn out in life if a man is present?
Yes, just some strong male role model. Pastor, I remember I was watching some documentary or reading some work, and it was an at-risk at the time man, and he was saying how when he met you, how you got involved in his life, he changed for better. And that's what the majority of these kids need. They need some type of man who will call them out, who will challenge them, who will put as I say, the fear in God in them to do right, to change for the better. Because unfortunately, once again, I can say this being a product of a single mother household, most women can't do that, and that's not their job to do it. You need some type of black male role model or figure, unfortunately, and a lot of these black male children in their lives to let them know what's right or wrong, what they need to do for better, what they need to do to get their life on track. Because unfortunately, I can speak for myself as a young black male under a single mom, we learn how to manipulate very easily and very early in life.
That's deep, bruh. I mean, I can have you on for. We gotta have you come back because, I appreciate, bro. I appreciate this article, and I'm not gonna pretend like this article didn't. It kind of put a little battery in my back a little bit because I was thinking about how many children that whether I dealt with their mom or whatever, that I've never abandoned. Like they know to this day that something go down, I got you. Because whether they got an active dad or not, because I was in a space, I think it's important not to neglect. And I remember really hurting a young man's feelings who I wasn't dealing with their mom. I just knew them, and I kind of took them under my wing, and then I didn't pay attention. Right later, and it later as a man, he told me, he said, "Man, it hurt me that we used to play chess together, and you taught me how to play chess, and then it was just kind of you disappeared. I kind of went on with life, and so it put a battery in my back as I was reading this because I'm like, you never can do that." I told a young lady the other day who I'm working with their son, I'm like, the one thing I don't like to do is disappoint children. When you tell a child you're going to do something, you got to come through, or else you got to make it up. But you cannot make a pattern of telling children, and even my adult children. My grandchild graduated the other week in Houston. I forgot I had a wedding in Barbados the day before. Now, do you think I wanted to go to Barbados and leave? I went to Barbados and stayed 24 hours. I went to Barbados. I got off the plane. I went to bed. I got up. I did the wedding. I got up early the next morning so I could be in Texas because I couldn't disappoint my grandson. But when I read this article, it made plain why those type of things are important. And one last thing, and then I called you at the last minute, and I thank you for taking my call. You say, absolutely. Meanwhile, many children spend hours on phones, tablets, and gaming systems with little oversight. Talk to us about that.
You see, this is the main part I don't get with parents. Like, once your child leaves school and come home, I'm not saying they have to, do chores, do work for the next 8 hours. But to go unattended playing, whether Fortnite, Roblox, Grand Theft Autos, whatever games, for 6-7 straight hours, like, it's easily for a young teenager's mind is very impressionable. And unfortunately, we saw what happened with a man here whose mind became impressionable by stuff he was seeing on social media and how that affected 10 families to this very day. So having your child just stay at home on their devices being affected by, was it a violence, was it a comment sections of stuff they're seeing, was it a blue light from their screens infecting their young brain cells? It's like we shouldn't let teens dictate what they see, do, or watch or play, because once again, they're teenagers. They're not adults yet. And I just hate how parents just leave it to their teens to do stuff like this.
Wow, you talk about, okay, this is the last thing, for real. You talk about discipline. Folks, if you're in Atlanta, or if you're in Buffalo, or if you're watching from anywhere, I want you to go, if you look up Buffalo, it's called, let me see what the website is, buffalochildnews.com, BuffChallnews, Buff Child News, which is buffalochallenger.com, and read this article by Mark Talley. You might not agree with it. I'm going to tell you, for the most part, a lot in here just woke me up. The reason that we hired a youth director at our church, full-time youth director. I don't have the money for a full-time youth director, but I'm finding the money because I need to make sure that our youth are doing more. I don't want them to come to church and put on headphones or their tablets because they're not involved, because everything is revolving around church, around adults. So we just took them to Florida, a good group of young men, young ladies. They acted like they had home training. My grandson spent time with them. I spent time with them. It was important. But your article is helping me, bruh. And this is why I reach out to you, because I'm not reading your article like, yeah, all these bad men. I'm reading your article like, are you doing your part, Pridgen? Are you doing your part, especially for these young men out here, or are you just having church? And that doesn't work for me, bro. And you talk about discipline and the fact that we have lost that in some ways, and I agree with you. I think about even our own church, and Mark, I want you to chime in on this. I look at how many, and I'm glad parents bring their children to our church. I am really thankful. But a lot of them never hear what's going on because they got on headphones and they're playing games. And so when I read this, I'm like, I couldn't have gone to church at 7, 8 and put on headphones and play games the whole time. So that makes me say, I know I got to step up my children's church game. I know I got to step up, because you could say, make them take them off. But, okay, what you offering? What you offering in between that they're going to understand? Because they not understanding Rosh Hashanah. They not understanding that. You know what I mean? So that's why I want. What do you think, Mike? Mark?
I do think the challenge is you have to get to a point, like you said. What are you offering? And we talked about it on, I think it was last week's show. You know, we can keep saying they need more of this, they need more of this, they need more of this. And Shuki said it online. They just need loving interaction. They need organization. And then I think I saw somebody's post that was basically like, and Mark just said it, we expect someone with an underdeveloped mind to make adult decisions for the betterment of themselves. And then wonder why. Well, what's going on with them? Well, the interaction isn't there. Like again, like this whole conversation said, if they get home from school, they've been away from me since 7, 8 in the morning. They come home 4 o'clock. I get off work at 5. I might see them for dinner, or they grab their dinner and then they go in their room, get back on the game. I go in my space, and next thing you know, the last thing I might say to them is, all right, have a good night, and I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
And there's been no interaction all day. I don't know how their day at school was. I don't know if they're getting bullied. I don't know if they're bullying somebody. I don't know if I put them in an activity. Did they even go to the activity? And you know, even with me coaching, I find that sometimes the only interaction these kids have with adults is when they're on the football field.
Yeah.
Because then they go home and they're fending for themselves. So when it comes to your point about church, I think it's, even if they're not in children's church, they need to be in a loving atmosphere with adults that they can know that even if it's not my parents, my grandparents, the adult next to me still loves and cares for me and want the best for me.
So I'm going to tell this little story, Mark, and you'll appreciate it. The Sunday in church, I won't obviously mention anybody's name. There's a call to the altar really for young people and getting their lives together. And one young man doesn't move, and his mother is trying to prompt him to move, and he won't come with her. It's like, parents, bring your children. And a man gets up, goes across the church, old school, and kind of picks him up.
Yeah.
And this is like a 11-year-old, and brings him to the altar and hugs him. And I hug him, and now I'm crying. The kid is crying. He goes back to the seat, and my mother happened to be in the area. Like like dang, somebody likes me and loves me, and I can't get that image out of my head. I can't get the image out of my head because I'm looking at this transaction happening. And I'm thinking, I wish there was a man who knew how to handle this. And this guy is a commissioner with with football, so he's known. But he took out and so after church, I asked him, "Did you know him?" He said, "I know of him." He said he came back to apologize to me. He said, "Man, I wanted to apologize. I felt like that might have caused a little disruption." I said, "Bruh, you hugged on another young man. You didn't holler at him. You didn't disrespect him. You loved up on this little dude." And so I want to tell you, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate this article. Whether somebody agrees or not, somebody got to say something. And it is important that we are checked on what we are not doing well. And I do think we as men can do better. And so I want to thank you for that, Mark.
Oh, thank you much. Thank you so much, Pastor. What you just said is perfectly correct. We're getting to a point where we're trying to go one-on-one and have debates with children who's, like you said, Mark, whose brains aren't fully formed yet. And as I say, we need to bring back, you're staying in a child's place. If I say we're going somewhere, you don't want to go, you just want to play video games all day, we're not debating this. You gonna
Mark,
go.
stay right there, because somebody just said, and I just want to hear your opinion. Somebody just said on social media, Sherry says on social media, and I want to hear both of your opinion. Young adults need jobs, summer jobs to help with school clothes, etc. What's your thought? Let me start with Mark. Or both of y'all, Mike. Marc Pope, what do you think?
I agree with that, but I think it goes beyond just the clothes, right? Honestly, my kids are in uniforms, so I'm okay.
Still got to buy them.
But I'm A-okay with that because I think it's beyond just the summer clothes. I think we're at a point in this country where our young people need to learn responsibility earlier. We need to learn accountability earlier and things like that.
Okay, Mark, what do you think on that statement?
I would say young adults. Yeah, I would say young adults, maybe older teens, they need education first. Because if you're going into that workforce without a lack of education, you're about to start the cycle of generational poverty.
So I know what I'm getting ready to say is not going to be a popular. But when I'm not saying they don't need jobs. I'm saying we blame the government when the government doesn't give them jobs.
I agree.
And everybody just hear me out. At the end of the day, government is not responsible to give kids jobs.
No, they're not.
That's something in Buffalo especially that is unique.
Yes.
You're not going – you never heard of – I don't know, Atlanta Summer U. They might have something small, but it's not – I don't think we need to be concentrating just on the summer. I agree with you. I think our children need to be educated how to keep a job.
Yeah.
I think our children need to be educated on how to do an application so they can go to McDonald's, or wherever, and get those starter jobs.
Yeah.
And have them when they need it. And this is no disrespect to the comment. I don't think it is about clothes. I learned how to do a job application from a club called Distributive Education Clubs of America, DECA, where they taught us how to do an interview, taught us how to do. So I've had a job since the day I got my working papers, 14 years old, because I walked into a nursing home while I was waiting for the bus, filled out an application. They came out when I went to go get on the bus and said, "You need to come back in." And my penmanship is horrible, but they taught me to take my time. So I took my time and wrote out. I got the job that day. So at the end of the day, I think, and this is all I'm saying, there are cultures that don't wait on government to give them jobs.
Absolutely.
We as a community have to create jobs. We as churches, I got like 4 or 5 young people working for me right now because who are in the church, at the church, and they're not from True Bethel necessarily. So I think we got to look again at how we're talking about, because I've seen people say, and they're right, and I'm glad Rashid Wyatt and others fought for money in the budget for Mayor Summer Youth. So I want to be clear about that, because we don't have the economy around here. And so I'm glad the government is doing whatever. But when you start to talk about government doing, we need more gyms, we need more of that, I say it starts at home. The gym, our gym used to be the driveway.
Right.
Or the street.
Yep.
At the end of the day, everything else is icing on the cake. And the reason I called you, because it starts at home, whether people want to admit it or not. And it might not be the biological parent, but it needs to be somebody who's investing in our children. The gymnasium is in your driveway. Let's start there. Let's see how they act at home before you send them for somebody else to babysit kids who have not had any discipline. Because you talk about in your article something about discipline is not punishment.
Yeah.
Boundaries. So we ain't it's going to be an unpopular opinion, and I'm okay with that.
And I'll co-sign what Mark said, because I just told this story to some of my players at an event. When education was first in my house, my grandmother told me, your only job is to have good grades. You get good grades, you can play football. You get good grades, I'll take care of everything you need.
Yep.
So education was first. So I didn't have to look for a job until after high school graduation, because I made sure I kept my grades up.
And I get what Sherry's saying. And Sherry just a comment. She said, when I was 14, I had a summer job, and it helped my mother with everything, clothes, food, and I would give her money. And there are some families that are going through that if we can employ them, it is important.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't going against Sherry. I want her to know that I was with you, but I'm just saying I want to make sure our mindset, because we got new Americans here and some Americans that's been Americans but moving to Buffalo, they got jobs.
Yes.
They got jobs. You want to know why they got jobs?
Because their parents got.
Because they go downstairs to the store. They go down. They go to the driving school where they now have, and they have we got our mindset. I keep saying I'm going to print this on a T-shirt. I'm going to push this probably in 27. If you want to talk about
Commutative economics.
Yeah, Kwanzaa.
What's that? Yeah,
Kwanzaa should be all year.
Yes.
It shouldn't be. It should be something that we are living, that we are doing, and that we don't just celebrate once a year for a week. Because if our kids are going to make it, we have to have responsibility, and we've got to be able to say without being canceled, parents, grandparents, I jump in.
Somebody.
You got to jump in.
Somebody.
You got to jump in. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate you, bro.
Oh, no problem, Pastor. Here, I'll help you out even more and say it. Most of these kids nowadays are lazy. You ask them to do something, step out their comfort zone, they want to cry. The parents don't want to give them that discipline because they don't think they're going to have that relationship with their child. And like I said in the article, life will eventually teach a lazy person.
Wow. Thanks, Mark.
No problem.
Mark
Thank
Talley,
you, Pastor.
man. I'm so
Thank
glad
you, Mark.
that he came on. And because this article, like I said, you don't have to agree with it, but at least it's a man saying, like, come on, y'all, let's get this together. I always tell people, I remember one time, and I don't know, somebody said that somebody was in Maddie's. This is so dumb, but this is how much it fired me up. And they're like, yeah, I got to buy Pridgen kids shoes. What?
Whoa.
I tried to track down, ain't no man ever. let me say this. I ain't telling you I'm the best dad in the world. God knows I've made my share of mistakes. But ain't no man ever had to put shoes on any child I brought into this world or any child that I pledged responsibility to. I took care of. Never have they been in a house where lights were cut off or gas was cut off. I worked 2 jobs most of my life for my kids, not for me. I don't have anything designer. I don't have any jewelry. I wanted my kids to live in a certain type of house. I wanted my kids to get driven to school in a certain type. That was my choice. I wanted my kids to get their education and not have to worry.
Yeah.
So I did what I had to do.
Yeah, and I think, and you know, as we transition with the last 9 minutes of our show, yeah, I think that's where we are. That's the crossroad we're at with our school board, and you know, out of all of the headlines over the last few weeks, it's not about the person, it's not about the people, it's not about the allegations or whatever. The school board has to look at themselves because not everyone in the administration is bad. So I don't want to throw out.
Well, hold on. Let's because everybody's not from Buffalo. Explain what you're talking about.
So out of nowhere, I think almost last week or earlier this week, the Buffalo school board superintendent resigned out of nowhere. It was a surprise to about 98%
He hadn't
of the
been here a year yet.
He was approaching 1 year. He had just given his 1 year report of the district, and here was a resignation. So it kind of put the city kind of in a whirlwind of like, well, what's going on? What's going on? What's wrong with the city? What's wrong with the school district? And then we find out there's an allegation that has been filed, and you know there's a process that there will be going through in the next few weeks for that with one of the school board members and the superintendent. And so they had a school board meeting. They had one in executive session to accept the resignation, and then they had another one recently where they still couldn't answer questions. And you got to understand, you can't answer questions to a pending investigation into allegations. So I think, so with all of that being said, I think the remaining school board in the current administration has to, with the culture, they have to figure out, is this our culture?
Let me say this. At the end of the day, it's got to be about education for our children. I got off the school board early. I was on the school board. It is one of the most frustrating boards. It was easier to be a council member than it is a school board member. So I commend those who are on the school board. But God doggone it, get to education, because that's what I couldn't. I was only one person out of 9, and we were talking about joint schools construction, buildings. You could build all the daggone buildings you want to. But if our kids are not being educated, and I want to hear more about that. I want to hear about how you're going to educate our children who are already suffering, and we're talking about street takeovers and all that. We need education for our children to be able to make it. I don't want at the end of the day, you know what we living in. Welfare ain't welfaring. Food stamps ain't stamping. EBT ain't EBTing.
The services ain't getting socialized.
Housing is short. Our children need half a chance. School board, get it together. And we want to hear about education. Take care of your lawsuits. And you're right, Mark. You cannot talk publicly about a pending lawsuit. I was elected official. I know that. That process is going to play out. In the meantime, parents want to hear, how are you going to better educate my children? I don't care. I know we a sports town, Bills, but no. I don't want to hear, oh, this person played good basketball. This person, y'all can save me for that. Mm-hmm. Because the percentage, and I know we almost out of time, of them that make it in those sports and all that is so small.
So small, not even 5% nationally. So you got almost 1 million kids in youth sports. And I think, like you said, and because I'm in it, kids come to the school I coach at, oh, my son's D1. And you want to have the reality. Your son is 5'5", 120 pounds. You're not playing D1.
Absolutely. So. Sherry says something. She's been on it today. Matter of fact, she's a milestone follower. She said, if you give them a whipping, they call the police on you. I mean, because our culture.
The whippings we used to get.
Right.
Yes.
Our culture, and don't get, well, you know what? I'm tired of saying that. You can get mad at me if you want. Our culture, unfortunately, is often a hostage to other cultures and what they believe and how they believe discipline. Now, I don't believe you ought to be beating a child to death, you ought to be screaming to, or that you should be hitting them when you're angry.
Yes.
Because you're taking that anger. But I do believe in discipline.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we get put in jail or get a CPS case because of other cultures and what they feel should happen.
And it's interesting that even came up, and this conversation came up because I was just saying earlier this week, the whippings I got, my grandmother, my grandfather's Air Force belt or whatever she could grab. But what I realize in this state is that they're coming from 1.5 generations out of slavery, where that's how they got. So that's how they learned how to discipline.
Mark. I was disciplined. At the end of the day, I was also fed and clothed and loved. You can't discipline me and you can't keep the lights on.
Listen,
you can't discipline me and you can't keep a roof over my head. You can't discipline me and we ain't got no food. You can't discipline me and you out doing the same thing I am.
I quoted. I was hanging with my coaches the other last Saturday, and I quoted your favorite line that I learned and I still use. I'm not going to be provider and punk.
Yeah, I'm not going to be provider and punk. I told my boys that. I said, and I think it was because they took one of my T-shirts or something. I'm like, hey, you took my T-shirt? Oh, yeah, I got, no, bro. No. I buy y'all T-shirts.
Right.
Don't touch mine. And that's when I said, I'm not going to be provider and punk at the same time. You are not going to tell me how this house is going to run. Or you buy, and I mean that.
Absolutely.
You can go stay with your auntie, Google, whoever you want to. What you not going to do, we got to get ready to go. We got to get ready to go. We got to get ready to go.
We got 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, but what you not going to do, we ain't get to I ain't get to so much.
Yeah.
The police officer pushing the young lady down.
Yeah, we didn't get the chip. We didn't get to our downtown
because I can't give that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try to get Mitch Nowakowski on.
Yeah.
And get him on the show because he wants to ban.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I saw a report he wants to ban young people from being on Chippewa. Now, they tried to do that when I was council member, and I fought against it.
I was getting ready to say.
Yep, I fought against it only because some people come as tourists. They come with their kids. You got to control it. But I want to give him, and I will invite him on to kind of talk about that.
Yeah, and I think that might be going into our next week's show because, like I said, we didn't even talk about the young man from Mississippi, Nolan Wells. You know, that's a tragic incident too. So there's a lot going on with young people that if we stay silent
and let's be real, black young people,
yes.
My neighbors, the New Americans. You heard what Keith Wiley said here. Now, everybody can get mad. We had a regent who's a teacher who said his best students, some of his best ones, don't talk back, don't do none of that. I'm going to get me some hip job. What is it?
What?
The thing the women wear. I'm getting some of those.
Jobs.
True Bethel going to start because, and that's no disrespect. It's all respect. That's all I give is respect. All right, we got to get ready to go. Hobson's, the Doctor of Dry Cleaner, 874 East Delavan. Listen, they got a new system over there. Give them your phone number, and they will alert your phone with a text when your clothes are ready. Go and get your clothes. You know they'll be giving them away in a little bit. Go get your clothes. Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaning. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home in your hour of need. 3 locations to serve you. 845-5545. 845-5545 in your hour of need. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. Until next week.
Power to the people.